Well, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, an Irish bourbon. Well, kind of. It's Weekend Sip. Charles Passy has the booze and Emma Moody has her thirst. Thanks for being here.
Sure.
Both
Thank
of you.
you.
There it is. It's not quite a bourbon, but it sort of isn't a whiskey, really.
It's in the spirit of a bourbon. So Irish whiskey.
It is definitely a spirit. We know that.
Irish whiskey is super hot right now. It's one of the biggest growing categories in America right now. Most Irish whiskeys are a blended whiskey, a blend of malts and grains. This is an unusual one. It is a single grain, and it is a single grain made of corn, which, guess what, is the predominant grain in bourbon. So this is somewhat akin to a bourbon, a very different Irish whiskey. It comes from a fairly new brand called Teeling. So, and it's just a very different take on Irish whiskey.
Emma, are you a fan of Irish whiskies of any sort?
Not so much.
Not so much.
But this one does sound interesting because I am a fan of bourbon, so a bourbon-like substance could be very appealing.
Why don't you two tuck into that, and I'll explain. The aroma is sweet, it's pungent. It smells very inviting, certainly, and it's a beautiful colour. I'm not going to say what colour because I'm colourblind, but it is beautiful anyway. Where would I buy this, Charles?
This should be pretty much at your local liquor store, particularly if it has a good selection of Irish whiskey. If it just has Bushmills and Jameson, maybe not so much. It's just rolling into this country right now, starting with St. Patrick's Day. You might have to give it a couple of weeks.
Okay, Emma, what do you think? Describe the flavour while I have a taste.
It's very fruity, like, you know, sort of apples and sort of some sort of citrus. Very nice.
You picked up on the other thing that's interesting about this one is it's aged in wine casks. So, so it actually, you're getting some of the fruit from that. But you know, but it's definitely on the sweet side. It is.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have the traditional character of an Irish whiskey, which has more of a balanced and I would say certainly more of a malty, a breadier character. This is, if it doesn't taste exactly like a bourbon, but it's not too far away from it either, I would say.
Emma's really getting into that.
I think I would just put this down.
No, please don't on our account. Why have these? I don't have a handle on mine. Is that because I can't be trusted with a handle? Why is that? Why?
You know, this is the perfect mug to make an Irish coffee for St. Patrick's Day, but we do need some coffee for that. So, but it works for this, I would say.
Okay, and we had this neat. I should point out there was no water in there.
Right.
So keep going, Emma, with that. Thank you very much, Emma and Charles. Everybody,
cheers.
Have a great weekend.